We might want to check this out.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Warsat Radio, episode 19. We're almost getting to 20. Almost to 21 will be legal, but not yet. I'm your host,
No, not yet.
Cobra,
Hanging
and
in.
that is my co-host, Eclipse. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
I think we should talk about some Destiny updates first.
I think I've got a confession to make.
Confess.
You called me a dirty whore a couple weeks ago,
Mm.
and I cheated.
What did you do?
My game came out of my console.
You put something in?
I put something else in my console for the first time in 8 months, 9 months, maybe.
Literally the only other game to be in your console is what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I mean, I played Dying Light a little bit at the beginning of the year, but I think Destiny has literally been in my console since then. Well, I mean, we played a little Master Chief, but the game never came out.
Right.
The game never came out of the console because I got a digital copy.
Well,
But yeah, so we cheated. I feel bad.
you
I
started
feel like
it.
a dirty whore now.
You started it.
I did start it,
Black Ops 3 came out Tuesday.
but them
Excuse me,
zombies though.
my lips stuck together. Came out Tuesday, and that's where we started, as you've heard us before, on them zombies, though.
On them zombies
And
though.
I didn't expect you to say, I'm going to go to Redbox and get this. I'm like, oh, for real? Okay.
Well, see, what it was I was coming to terms of, like, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, this game has still hooked me, even though even though I've taken it out of the console. My game got taken, pun intended, out of the console, and something else got put in. I was still while I was playing Black Ops, maybe not so much after you got in there and we started playing together, but when I was playing by myself, I was like, I would rather be raiding. Like, I would rather have jumped into King's Fall. And then I was like, well, you got in there, we started doing campaign, did a little bit of zombies. I was like, okay, it's fun. It's not going to hold my attention for the amount of time that Destiny has, but it's something we'll definitely get into and jump into and play.
I was surprised to hear you be the first one to say, I'm going to get Black Ops out of Redbox because you're not much of a renter.
No,
So
I'm not much of a renter, and it's part of the fact was it was, our little deal that we had, and then I was like, well, do I really want this game? Am I really gonna, want to spend the money on this game that if it does what I've done with the past few games I bought, just sit there, never get touched.
Yeah.
And them zombies though,
Well, we got some history with Black Ops 1
we
and
do
2.
have some history.
Many hours that brought
Yes.
us together. No homo.
There was honey in the middle.
So I was like, dang, you're going to make me do it too. And we've, like, me or myself, Triple D, and you have always been like, whatever game, or what are we going to play next? And somebody
Yeah.
say something. You're getting it. Oh, you're getting it too. Okay, we're playing that. Like, we we weigh each other's interest to what we're going to get.
Right.
And a couple games on the horizon, I guess more for Triple D and I. I thought we were going to get this, but I just didn't want to say anything. And
Yeah.
Destiny, still held my attention just as well. I've still got that record for me as well for not playing anything for about a straight year until we got to that 2 or 3 week lull of the year 1 to year 2 switch. And I was kind of ready for something else because for Taken King, been there, done that. Still
Right.
fun, obviously. My enthusiasm level, as most anything, has leveled out, and it's still fun because now we've finally beat orcs on heroic.
Yep.
So we've done everything pretty much.
Easily at that.
Yeah, and now it's just kind of okay. We're doing it, and it's no big deal. So that is out the window. So now it's like, all right, you're gonna play Black Ops. I'll try it too. And I was like, wow, campaign is co-op. I didn't play campaign with you guys because I didn't know you when World War. What'd you say? World at War was a co-op.
Yeah, World at
campaign?
War was I'm pretty sure it was 2-player co-op.
I believe so.
But you couldn't do just a couple of the missions. Like, you had to run a couple of the missions single player.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the World at War was co-op campaign, and I'm thinking it was only 2-player.
I played that late when it had came out because I wasn't into Call of Duty games at the time, but I had a freaking good time playing Black Ops, and we even had a text debate about what are we playing tonight. The day after we were going to keep it for 2 days, we decided to keep it just for one. We're like, are we gonna raid or are we gonna play Black Ops? And I was like, ooh, I don't know. I want to do both. And that night you did say you would rather been raiding. I had just started to get into the zombie thing, and when I don't understand something, my attention isn't all there because I'm like, this sucks because I don't know what I'm doing. But over time, we'll learn all the secrets, and it'll probably be one of those things that my attention is more into. But there was that time where I don't understand what that zombie story is about, and I was like, yeah, Destiny's safer. I can fall back and know what I'm doing. But you got off that first night, and I played some multiplayer, and I was like, ooh, I had a good time doing that. Just because it's different.
Right.
Definitely not losing anywhere with Destiny, other than just kind of been there, done that. I can do it now. But Battlefront 2, man. I know you're not the biggest Star Wars fan, but you seem like it sometimes.
I
That's
mean,
next.
I
That's
won't,
Tuesday.
I don't want it for the multiplayer. I would rather get it for the campaign, yes. But then again, you know, we kind of all tend to wait on each other. Devin's not getting it,
Hmm.
so I mean, it may be something that waits, and it may be something I go and get next Tuesday.
I don't
You
see you
know,
getting Battlefront just because you haven't been up on it. You didn't play the beta, did you?
yeah, I played the beta.
You did. Did you? I guess we didn't play together. I
Yeah,
don't.
I think you
The
were. I
gunplay's.
think our schedules couldn't really get together. I think you were playing
Yeah.
really late.
Yeah. Lonely me sometimes. The gun play is different than Destiny, and we weigh so heavily on how good Destiny is. But then the
Because
concept.
Destiny's gunplay, core game gunplay, and just it's rivaled everything, and I think that's why it's done so good.
I
It's
agree.
because there's nothing out there that plays as well as Destiny does.
But you haven't been the biggest Star Wars fan from me knowing you. I've been the freaking nerd who's got the toys and collecting everything and the master replica sabers and dressed up as this and but I haven't really been into Star Wars until really the past couple months with this new trailer coming out. Kind of a segue, but we won't go there. And then you've been showing some more Star Wars interest, and I've been thinking, why wouldn't you get Battlefront? Because we know Devin wants it,
Yeah.
but weighing how much we'll really play these games, just like we said
And
earlier,
also,
versus
another
Destiny.
reason why I'm weighing Battlefront so heavily is because it's Battlefield, and I hate Battlefield multiplayer.
It doesn't play like it though. I don't think it did. Do you think it did? I thought it felt different.
I mean, maybe a little bit. I guess I didn't really put enough time into it. But it's got that stigma of being Dice Engine to me personally,
Right.
and just me not preferring it and not liking Battlefield. So I think I kind of went into Battlefront multiplayer side of it, not thinking I'm gonna like it, and not wanting to waste the $60 on it like I do every Battlefield game that comes out. I end up succumbing to peer pressure and buying it, and then playing it a few times and not liking it and getting rid of it.
I got Battlefield 4 not last year. Year before last, played it 15 minutes. Just sent it to you to put it on eBay for me the other day. And I'm
Yeah,
like, what a waste of money. I think I only paid $20 for it because it was a Black Friday flash sale I jumped on. But anyway, I hate when I don't
yeah,
play a game. But with Triple D really wanting to play other games, he likes Destiny. He doesn't love it. I would like to get into something else with him too because I know he's been waiting for a year. We owe him some time to play something
he
else.
has been waiting a long time.
We owe it to him because we used to just jump back and forth to everything. But for Triple D, I'm going to play some Call of Duty with him. And I'm going to play some Battlefront. Now, I was going to say, too, the only reason I'm really getting Battlefront next week is because of Target's buy two, get one free, like I did this past week,
Right.
or earlier the week, rather. Right now, if you buy two games, you get one free. So I hopped in to Target yesterday and got my 3 copies, one for myself. You and I went half on it for Devin,
Yep, to help him
and
out.
I gave you a copy because you've helped me out with some things. So that's how we got it. So I also bought 3 more copies on the PlayStation 4 because I figured I would sell them to recoup because I pretty much get 2 free games. Whatever I sell, the cost goes back to what I spent. I end up buying like a game for $20.
Right.
So that was my deal. If you guys want to try to get some cheaper games, go do it. Go eBay the rest that you aren't going to use, or return it. I'm not going to talk about doing that because that's kind of not
Frowned upon.
legit. Without a receipt. Anyway, but since Battlefront comes out next week, I'm going to exchange the three PlayStation 4 versions and have three Battlefronts, which I'm sure I can flip easily because it's so desired from people.
Yeah.
And I'll have a cheap copy for myself. But I might hook you guys up too. I just don't know. I got a bigger credit limit on my Target card. I don't know. I hadn't figured it out yet. I don't know.
You're not buying me another
want
game.
it, well, if you don't want, but I don't care. Money's money, and you
That's
guys help
that's
me.
what I think. So,
I like to give.
and I'm
Giving's
getting
awesome.
more into the whole Star Wars thing. You know that I've always been a fan,
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
super nerd fan. And part of that's because I've always wanted to. I would rather spend my money in other places.
Like,
And now with my life changes that's happened, I can do what the hell I want.
right.
So,
We'll see.
you know, like I said, next year Halloween, you keep saying I'm changing my mind. I ain't changing my mind, so you better get ready.
We'll do something. We'll do something. Wish we could do some Destiny costumes, but I don't have that skill to create.
I don't have that skill either.
Well, back to the game thing. You know what's weird? When you said you took the game out, and put it in, we've never done that before.
The
It's
game out.
weird.
You said it. The game.
The game. It's. I've never been on a game this long, and I feel weird. Like, how do I feel about putting a new game in? Do I want to go back to it? Will
Feel
I be
dirty,
thinking about
don't
the
you?
new game? What am I missing? Who needs help?
Yeah.
What raid am I needing to be, or what raid? What group do I need to be jumping in to help do something?
Well,
Am
see,
I
that's
missing a
like
good drop I
today.
can get this week?
Like today, you know, we've all three got Black Ops. Devin's itching to play. You know, we're doing our recording. And of course, what's the daily today that pops up except for the Black Spindle quest? And James is needing a Black Spindle. And I'm like, look, I said, I'll help you. I said, we got to do the podcast thing. I said, but I'll get on and I'll help you do it if you haven't got it by then. And I was trying to teach him the ways of LFG. So hopefully he had found a group. Hopefully he gets it before we get done.
Right.
But yeah. So I mean that's part of that. There's something to do almost every single day.
And I don't know how I feel about a game that is a part of my life like that. Like, it's been fun, don't get me wrong, but I can't stand it when, I don't want to say it interrupts my life, but it comes into my head, oh, I got to do this, I can't do this because I got to do that. I haven't been to the gym in 2 weeks. Well, one, I've been sick, but then I've been doing other things like with the game, and it's like, I got to get some balance here because I keep jumping into the game, but is that fun? Is that addicting? It's nothing we don't know.
It don't help when we're like, Chris, get your ass on.
It doesn't. Peer pressure is.
But the gym though, no gym though.
I got my dumbbells here. I should do that in between my deaths.
That's
my
happened before.
My 30-second death scenes. Anyway, how about some patch notes?
Some patch notes. We ain't got patch notes yet, but we got an update.
Well, how about some update notes?
How about some update notes? We get
I call
weapon
it
next week.
I call every update a patch note because
patch
it's coming and it's a part of it.
Yeah. We get some update. We get some weapon parts next week. Damn it! I'm happy.
That's all
Thank
you. I don't.
God.
I don't know what it's like not to be out. I'm rich, bitch.
Charlie Murphy needs to go to hell on somewhere.
So you're gonna get your weapon parts, spend some money on them. You'll be good to go.
Oh, I'm gonna spend a ton of money on them.
Did they talk about how? What was I gonna say? I don't want to say how much they track, but I'm curious. Well, they wouldn't mention this. I just thought too far ahead. You know how they always give a rate of here's how much was spent on this.
Right.
Here's how many strange coins were collected.
Yeah,
by
like
Zora
they
the
did,
first
like
time.
they did when they did the icebreaker
Yes.
thing of
And he made like 2 million or
Yeah.
20 million, whatever.
20 million strange coins or something like that. Something stupid.
I want to know if they'll have a tracking of how much glimmer he makes.
Oh, I'm
off his weapon
sure they
parts.
will have that tracking, but I don't know if they will ever release it.
They should.
They should.
I'd like to hear because we'll find out how broke people have been.
Well, what's funny is I can see a lot of people, even the people that have an abundance of weapon parts, stocking up on them. I can see that. Now, I don't think they'll ever take them away from us once they give them to us. But for some reason, I can just see people going in and just dropping money on weapon parts to just build their stockpile up, even if they've got 1,000 of them.
I might do
Could
that
be wrong.
just in case. Just in case.
Yeah, but they're never going to take them from us.
I'm a prepper.
Yeah. You are a prepper.
No, they'll
Got
never
your-
take them from us. I agree.
Get your Destiny bug out bag ready.
We bug in for Destiny around here.
Yeah.
Anyway, the weapon part thing, yes, everyone loves it, especially Eclipse here. Um,
Now, what do
other
you think about what do you think about Iron Banner being Clash next week?
I want to know exactly what the play style is going to be with whoever we get a group with, because we're used to control sitting. We know where we're staying. We don't leave that area.
Right.
Shifting movement around in Clash. You mean if you control territory just by blocking or cutting the map off and let them come to you, knock them down as they walk towards you? Do you push forward into where their spawn is, back off a little bit, switch it? There's all kinds of tactics. I've seen people play. I was watching some Twitch. You push into spawn, and whenever you kind of get past that spawn point, you rush back over to catch them respawning.
Right.
Interesting tactic. I don't know if
Trying to
it's new
spawn
old.
trap them.
There you go. New old. I don't know. I don't do Crucible too much, but I was reading the update. I was thinking about, okay, we're gonna get in and we'll be able to talk to each other and communicate, and I guess just sit and wait, find good spots for long range shots, have somebody catch people through doors, and just keep a side of the map. I assume that's what we'll do. I'm excited about it. I think it'll be fun. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
my
think it'll be real fun.
I don't know if my KD will be the same. I don't think I'll get that 8.0 anymore
Yeah.
because I get the extra points from defending a flag. I love to sit on a flag. I'm not moving from my flag. This is my flag. There are many like it. This is mine. That's how I treat it. So I'll give it a shot. It's cool. I mean, I do better with captain flag anyway because I'm a defender, and it's a bigger point for me to hold a flag than just stand there. But that's just me. You?
Yep.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be a great switch up.
I'm glad
Something
they're
to get
switching
off
up,
of
too.
control. I think that's
Right.
pretty cool. Now I want to see Iron Banner Mayhem Clash.
I do too. I
God, that
do
would be
too.
so fun.
It will mess up a lot of people's games.
It will. I mean, it will make so many people just hate life. At least the tryhards that want the perfect KD and
Hmm.
all that good stuff. It'll make them hate their lives, and it'll probably make them not play. But I think it would be so much fun to just have an Iron Banner Mayhem,
We
except for
did.
that 10 kill streak bounty that or the quest or the weekly bounty that they do where
Yeah.
you got to get a 10 kill streak. I just don't see that happening in Mayhem. Just get
When you
taken
mention,
out too easily.
yeah, you do. Stay back and wait till yours is charged, and then jump in and jump back out to the corner of
I
the map
guess,
somewhere.
yeah.
You mentioned Iron Banner or not Iron Banner, Crucible. Not Crucible. I can't think, son. We're talking about I freaking can't think of Trials. That's what I'm trying to say.
Trials
Um,
that we
I was
got to
thinking of
dive
Trials.
into.
Well, I was gonna say,
Finally,
what if we do some Mayhem Trials?
Mayhem Trials. That would be interesting.
See.
Sunbreakers everywhere.
Can't beat that. Can't take them down because they're going to throw something at you. But I'd like to see some of those maps. Everyone run away when you hear hammer and just
Speaking
run away till the
speaking of
time runs out.
trials, segue into it. How did you like it since we finally all three of us finally got to go in?
We had some issues,
The first card we had a lot of issues.
and we had issues again on the second card. But then
Yeah,
we had a
but we
couple
were
games, and
we were playing
I realized
we
the
were
fun.
getting to play a lot better on the second card.
I realized the fun you can have in trials. Trials, what I don't like is what I found myself not knowing how to play a trials match. I don't know the tactics. I haven't spent time watching or learning it. I'm typically gone when trials is available anyway. When your teammate dies, do you stand on them to get them up? Or do you push forward as you take one out with you? I don't know these things. I
Right.
don't know. I'm not smart to that, but I did see what I was doing wrong, and I need to pull back some. I always play up. I need to pull back.
Well, see,
I
that's
need
my
to
thing
wait for
too.
your
Is I've
timer.
changed. I've got to change that in my play style. Also, I'm
Mm.
a push forward.
Go after somebody.
Try to run and gun kind of that. My play style is a straight up run and gun,
Hmm.
and it shows with my KD, but I also will play. Like in control, I will also play objectives
Right.
as to instead of not worrying about a flag and just trying to get straight kills.
Hmm.
I play for the objective. I play for all that. So in trials, it's it's a whole different world for me. But yeah, you have to play back, try to stay in cover. And I realized one of my biggest faults is if I catch a sniper out of the corner of my eye, and I'm able to react fast enough to duck into cover if I'm turning a corner or something, and just barely catch him and know where he's at.
Mhm.
there's a part of me that can't leave that alone, and I have to turn back around and try to snipe him, even though he's scoped in on where I'm at.
I feel kind of the
And
same way
I've
about
learned,
that.
and I've realized that this week after just thinking back, probably listening or reading something on Reddit. I think it was reading it on Reddit that somebody was saying, don't ever do that because they watched a video, and I was like, you know what, I've got a really bad habit of doing that, and I've got to stop doing that. Go find a different angle. Don't, because I see somebody peeking through and I made it out without him even shooting at me.
Right.
Don't try to get the jump. Don't try to go back around the corner, scoped in already, and try to get the jump on him because 9 times
He's
out of
already
10
watching.
you're not going to win that. You're not going to win that encounter. But
I do the
we,
same thing. I
yeah,
do the same thing. When you pointed that out, I was like, you know what? I see somebody. We're going to play with each other, and I'm
yeah.
going to
We're like,
die.
ooh, can I get the jump on him? Dead. Oh nope, I sure couldn't.
On the map we played this past week,
I did not like that map.
on trials, that big round tube. There's always somebody kind of peeking around that.
Right.
As soon as you spawn on the opposite side of it, I run by, get sniped 3 times. I knew the guy would be there. I'd run to see him. I knew I saw that red light and it was going to be a bullet through my head, but I couldn't help it. I was drawn to it like a parakeet and some jingly bells, or a cat and a red light. I don't know. I couldn't help it. And I was just getting myself killed. That's my unknowledgeable play style. But you said that too earlier. You're a objective player. I am too. And
Yeah.
it started with my early FPS games, like on PC, where you defend, you build this, you protect your flag. I relish in objective gameplay because it gives me a purpose. I will try harder. Running around and killing like a deathmatch is fun, but I just get sloppy because it's all about just killing,
Yeah.
and that's what happens to me in trials. It's just not my playstyle.
Yeah.
But
We'll
anyway,
we'll keep diving into it and hopefully get better. And
it was a
it's
slow
just
learning
something
curve.
we all got to play at. We did. I said it last week. We did really good in Modern Warfare 3v3. Except the difference is you could die, so we were able to run and gun during that and push forward
Mm.
and let Devin hang back and hang back and take little pot shots at whoever he sees peek out of cover. But we all three know each other well enough to work well as a team. We just have to get in there and practice and get better at it. But we had fun doing it until we were also rushed too. We knew we weren't getting too far ahead of it. We weren't going to be able to go too far into it with you having to go do whatever you had to do.
With my schedule,
Your
I was
schedule.
like, I've got an hour. What can we do?
Yeah.
And I remember turning the freaking game off, letting you guys complete something. And I
Yeah, so
came
you
back.
got the bounty. I think
I
you
turned
ended
my
up getting a
TV
bounty
off,
or something.
so my wife wouldn't see that I was playing. I was supposed to be doing homework. And I came back on. I got kicked out. I was like, dang it. So then we decided to get in.
You had ran to
And
the shower. That's what it was.
that's what it was. And I was like, I need to finish this, complete however many matches or whatever. Let's
Yeah.
just dive off. And we dove
Yeah.
off and dove off and dove off.
Yeah,
and
we
dove
were
off.
handing out free wins.
We are uncouth in our ways. But yeah, it was cool. It was something different. But you'd ask me, hey, are you having a good time? I was like, you know what? We're winning. I am.
Yep.
You having a good time? No, we're losing. This is stupid. Why are we
Yeah.
playing?
We're dying from one shot for everything. Damn it, I hate it.
I'm definitely interested in going back in, and this could probably be the rambling topic of our Destiny lives. We're not good at Iron Banner. Or not Iron
You
Banner. I
mean
keep getting my words
trials?
mixed up. Trials. I'm
Yeah.
reading the update right here, thinking of Iron Banner. Moving on, the updates for Iron Banner look pretty sweet. We're going to be able to get packages as we reach different levels 3 and 5.
Yep.
I like that. Pay me a little bit as I go along instead of waiting for that rep to go.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. They're doing the well, never mind. That I read that wrong the first time I read that. The reputation from winning matches is going up 20%.
20%.
That means it's going to be even easier to reach rank 5.
I was thinking the same thing. We're already
Because
getting a
you,
boost anyway.
I mean, are we? Remember last month when we played, it was why are we playing this on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday when we rolled in and hit rank 5 on Sunday
yeah.
and Monday in less than 11 games? It was, we didn't even finish all those weekly bounties until, and then we just cruised right on into rank 5 on our second character.
Easy. Iron Banner artifacts are going to be dropped at rank 3. That would be kind of cool, but after
I wonder if they're
having-
going to be dropped higher than 310.
That's my question. After getting what we're getting out of King's Fall, does it matter? But if
They
you
don't
put some-
drop artifacts in King's Fall.
What did I
The
get as an artifact? I'm thinking of Ghost Shell. My fault. Because
the
I'm reading the one below it.
the uh, artifact. The only way to get a 310 artifact is the quest,
Yeah, I was reading the line below it. Iron Banner.
and
Ghost Shells can be
the
obtained with rank
highest
5.
artifact you can get is the 310.
Right.
You can't get another one. You can't can't infuse one up to 310. You get the one you get when you get it out of the quest. So I'm wondering if the artifacts that drop from Iron Banner will be higher than 310. That would, to me, that gives them a way to make people want to play Iron Banner for actual, valuable.
Here's
loot.
the only way you can get it right.
Right,
Yeah, I
valuable
do
loot.
like that. I wonder if they would throw in. Here's the only way you can try to get your whatever higher light artifact through your Skullus situation. I don't think that would be too big of a draw because if it's just a couple light, sometimes it doesn't move you up at all. If it's a big increase, maybe, but going through all of that, I don't know. But like I said,
Going through all of what? What are you talking
well,
about?
okay, if you go through all of what you got to do to kill skulls, probably at our light level is no big deal.
Yeah,
But let's say it gets adjusted in some way. I know you got to keep it year 1, year 2.
yeah,
Put in some other reason. We mentioned this last week for you to go through the old game. Now, yes, that's for people who are playing up to where we are. We've been there, done that.
right.
But still, it's in our I can't think what I'm trying to say. It's in our realm of things to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, can we repurpose it with challenges? Maybe that would be how you get your.
I mean, it would be kind of
other
nice if
artifacts,
they
other
did.
ghost shells.
It just gives us more to do, but they're not going to pull anything out of year 1 into year 2.
Right.
They just won't do that. But it just because they've already said, that stuff is meant to be left year 1. That it's, we can't go back. They didn't let us keep our guns, so they're not going to let us do the content. They never pulled up Vault of Glass as much as people wanted them to pull Vault of Glass up to current level. And they flat out come out and said, that's meant to be done the way it's done. That's where it's going to stay.
I just still look at that, and I know I may sound stupid saying it after what you just said, but I still look at it because look what all we've done. We're across the bridge, and we're kind of up against the wall of what's out, which is we're doing this small amount.
Yeah.
Someone brand new has got the road to travel down and the bridge to go across to where we are. They've got all that.
Yeah.
They've got more content really available to them. I just say, what if they throw in something we can go back and now here's how you get your whatever light or something special.
Give us a reason to go back.
And it switches
and
it
now,
up. You're not doing the same
now
stuff
also we
again.
might get more of like the No Time to Explain quest, which made you go back in the vault. It just didn't bring the light level up, and you didn't have to run it on hard or challenge mode or whatever. Run it on easy, but that made you go back in Vault of Glass and kill Atheon.
Well, there you go.
Maybe we'll get more exotics drop that are year 2. When, of course, they'll drop year 2, but maybe we'll get something that will make us go back into Crota. Maybe we'll get a sword bearer sword quest.
That'd be cool.
That would
just
be
a
cool.
thought. Just a thought. Reeling back into update. Iron Banner artifacts rank 3.
Yep.
Ghost shells rank 5. Don't know if they're going to be 280, 290. I don't care because mine's 319. I got a 316. That's my problem with caring about it. You got to show me how it's going to help me, and hopefully it'll be worthwhile.
Yeah, I think they will. I think last time they come out and said there was a bug in Crucible, and that's why stuff really wasn't dropping. So hopefully the drops will be a lot better. I'm curious to see what we'll get out of the packages, if it'll be the gun or armor piece or something like that.
Yeah.
But the packages at 3 and 5 actually seem like it makes it worth. Depending on what come out of them, seem like it will make it more valuable to run your alts through.
Exactly.
Because it gives you something to work for. If it's a random gun drop or a random armor drop or something, it gives you something to work for. Just like the Etheric Light did in year 1. Yeah. In the House of Wolves, when they had Etheric Light at 3 and 5, that was your reason to run your alts.
Yep.
Was to get that Etheric Light.
Right. Do we want to go touch on the legendary sword purchasing ability now?
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I've already went and done my whole quest for my Arc one after I did my Fire one, but now I don't have to worry about the Void one until next Tuesday, and I'll just go buy it and then hopefully be able to start that quest.
So once you complete your Blade Master quest, you'll now be able to buy and get your exotic sword. Excuse me. Let me start this over. Once you complete the Blade Master quest to obtain the exotic sword, you'll now be able to buy all three legendaries without having to start all that over. Yay!
Yeah.
But
So essentially, if you have one of the three exotics, you'll be able to go buy the other legendaries over again.
I can't tell you the last time I used a sword on any level. Since I got the Raid rocket launcher, I've been
Really?
loving me some of that. Oh man, it does a lot of damage, or at least the blast radius is huge, and it takes
Yeah.
out a lot of ads in Kingsfall.
See, I've been using. I'll keep a sword. I'll run a sword, especially since I got the Arc Edge. I think it's Arc Edge, whatever it's called, but the Arc exotic sword. Um, the Bolt Caster is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's a ranged sword,
Sniper sword.
yeah, sniper sword. That's what I'll run during. I'll run it during totems. I switch it up for War Priest and Golgoroth because I'm using Spindle, and then I'll either run sword or machine gun during Daughters and Orcs. Pretty much, I think. Actually, I take that back. I'm not running either. I'm running machine gun because I'm running Touch of Malice. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I use it during totems, but I use it all the time. PvP, just or not PvP, but PvE.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing random, not in-game content. My sword's always on.
One day I'll go for the other two, but I just do not care about it. I don't want to go through the Hadium Flake special, not Hadium Flake, the special, the 10 you got to get to turn in to get your.
Oh yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
I don't want to do that again. It took me 3 days of 2 hours each. I'm just not interested, but I guess I'll have to one day. I'll have them all three. I don't want them, but pressure because you guys have them will be there too. Whatever. Time will tell.
Yeah,
If you're new to the game, you can be helped out by someone, and that's called Sherping. So
we've done our
Destiny's
share
gonna,
of sherping.
we have, but I wish we could be eligible for this thing. The new update's going to have people who Sherpa getting some kind of reward for a refer a friend program. Don't know what that is quite yet. We talked about maybe emblem. That's a good thing to give away.
Yeah,
Um, you
I
never
think it'll
know.
be an emblem. I don't see him doing much else other than an emblem or emblem shader,
Yeah,
something like that. Something to let people know that you're sherpaing people.
I'd like to have that, and I'm thinking, how can I work up this system? Here's someone who, there's a guy at work who never has time to play anymore. He's got a wife and a kid, and he's always kind of looking at me like, man, I'm jealous. You get to play. He got Witcher and got to play 2 hours of it, and that's such a deep game. Um, he's always like, are you still playing Destiny? I'm like, dude, we have a podcast. We're still playing Destiny. He's asking all these questions. I might get that. I might get that. I'm like, how about my copy? You play it for a day. We'll do the refer a friend through him. I was thinking that when I read this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna work the system a little bit. He's not gonna be able to play the game
yeah.
except by installing it and playing with it the day I give him the disc. But I'm like, I'm gonna get that whatever it is.
See, I got a guy. I got a guy at work that's buying his. I think it's his daughter. He's getting her an Xbox One for Christmas, and he's like, "I'm getting Destiny, so you'll see me on playing with you." Like,
You're
okay,
gonna get
cool.
it legit. You're gonna get it legit.
So
I have
cool.
no shame.
I said, I'll take you through.
Yep.
Well, I mean, depending on how all this works, our, I guess you can call them our raid group, since we tend to do it with them. We're the only ones they do it with.
Mm-hmm.
We taught them the raid. We 100% taught them each raid, actually. We taught them Crota. We taught them. They were there with us at Atheon, which we kind of learned Atheon all at the same time, but we taught them Crota, and then now we've
Mm-hmm.
taught them Kingsfall. So, I mean, technically, we've Sherped that, but now in this sense of a kindergarten coming in that, you know, that's a little, I guess that's a little different with our group because our group has been there since day one. They were just a little slower to get into the in-game content than we were.
So technically, I do deserve whatever that is, but I don't have a refer a friend way to go through to do it.
Right.
Unless hey, just play this so I can get this thing. Thank you.
Just put a post
But
up on Facebook. Is anybody getting Destiny? Please put this gamer tag in.
I'm a I'm a sucker for rewards. Anyway, So, anything else interesting that's worth mentioning? There's some more things in this update, but do
Yeah,
we
it's. I
care?
mean, 250 million pieces of candy were consumed, or were not consumed, but
Collected.
collected. Yep, during the Festival of the Lost.
And
That's a
the
pretty
real
cool
question
stat.
is, what did Eva Levante do with a quarter of a billion pieces of candy?
Yeah, she gonna knock the
She,
tower off. She eat all that candy.
she got diabetes.
Diabetes.
um, Festival's fun, like we talked about. I'm anxious to see what's happening for Christmas.
Right. Me too.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Right,
Hopefully
and they
something
kind
good.
of hinted at something. They said people that are more techie than they are may find out what we're doing after the
Mm-hmm.
patch next week. So I guess they're. To me,
Data
that
mining
sounds
for
like
what's
they're
next.
data mining. Yeah, if it's something like Festival of Lost, I don't want it found out. I want that
I know.
surprise there. That surprise was cool as hell to just click on Reddit and holy, the Festival of Lost. What the hell is this?
It certainly was.
You know, but
Um, the good thing about data mining, you can get to what you're going to do quickly if it's like one of these missions or whatnot,
right.
or it causes problems like Sleeper Simulant, where everyone like me goes crazy with information and you're searching all these places. And now I've learned don't get too deep when Destiny puts out something like that because it's not going to be that deep. Kind of sadly, but kind of okay, good. It takes up less of my time that I got to find these things out.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So something else
uh,
that happened last week that I guess this happened after the podcast
okay.
was the World of Warcraft trailer that come out,
Hmm. Hmm.
and Activision saying that any Activision title is eligible for this. Nothing. We can look at everything
Hmm.
because they said they're going to do a Call of Duty movie, uh, and hopefully we will get to see a Destiny movie in the future. I think it'd be awesome.
We've talked about this for a couple weeks, and I hate that someone got to talking about that before we did. But let me say, we're not knocking off someone's idea. What other podcast talked about this?
It
Planet
was
Destiny,
Guardian Radio.
Garden Radio.
Yep.
I can show you texts where we talked about it. We got to talk about the movie because when Warcraft came out, you never know what they can do.
Yeah.
We're not following in their footsteps because they did it first, and we can't think of anything. We think about these things. Um, so where do you want to go with these thoughts? Because we've got several.
Excuse me. We kind of thought of whole plot, the way we were talking about it. I don't know. I don't know if we could whole plot the thing out, but to me, my idea of the movie is we've got very recognizable voices in the tower. Those people in the tower you know, have to play a big role in the movie. Maybe not so much the Cryptarch because what the Cryptarch to me is more video game side of it, but you get into Zavala and Ikora Ray and Cade Six and Erismorn, the Speaker, the Traveler, not the Traveler, but the Speaker, even Levante, not even really so much. The
Mm-hmm.
main storytelling aspect, the story givers of the game.
Right.
Um, those to me I think they have to be played by the people that voice act them.
They've already been practicing those lines and knowing the character
Yeah,
anyway.
and to
I
me,
agree.
I don't know if you've got to stick so much to the game, and I don't think you could really stick to the game because you're not going to get a very long or well done movie out of it just because it's
Mhm.
chopped up.
Mhm.
But to me, if it's done like see, now you're saying I'm not a fan, but I want to see it done in a Star Wars fashion of
I don't want
show.
to say you're not a fan. You haven't shown me that long, like nerd,
Yeah,
like desire to be around Star
I
Wars
want to
stuff.
see it done. If they do a Destiny movie, I want to see it done in a Star Wars fashion where they show a trilogy, and then a little while later we'll get a prequel trilogy.
Mhm.
Go back, show. I don't know what all you would show in the first trilogy. I mean, you could go over the Atheon and all that. Atheon and up to Oryx. Just since we don't know any story past that, but use that but then use the prequel trilogy years later if the movies do good, and go and cover the actual fall and the the actual invasion and the arrival of the traveler, things like that, and go in and you can, it would be our, it could be our generation of Star Wars.
The arrival of the traveler would be a great way to end a movie. This big ominous looming thing comes down, whatever it's doing, and it kind of goes off. And like, holy crap! I got to see the next one. Well, it'll be 2 years, so wait.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
there's so many ways you can go with that storyline. Follow what we've got that's so loosely put together anyway, but they're going to take liberties with whatever they do because the writer's going to do their own thing with it. Just don't get Michael Bay as a director. I'll never watch it. So I agree. Pick out parts of the movies, put it together. It doesn't have to be game assimilated or follow that, like you said, but take these parts, expound upon them because there's so much there.
yeah.
And what do you got? You were talking about casting with the voice actors already.
Yeah.
So would they be the actual actresses and actors in here? Are you saying that, or would this be a live action movie to you?
I think it should be live act. We can, cosplayers can make some really amazing looking costumes. So why can't, Hollywood make some incredibly looking costumes?
Oh, of course.
For people to wear, and most of the time you see, Zavala and Ikora. Cade's a little different because he's an exo, but they don't have a helmet on. They just got the body armor on. But yeah, I don't think it should be CG'd or animated. I think it should be more of a live action, what it can be at least. I would like to see that more. I would like to see, when Zavala's talking, see him standing there talking, because I can already see him standing there talking. Like, I knew his voice. I was able to pick up his voice very quickly just from where I watched Fringe. And he was one of the guys in Fringe, and the second I heard his voice, I knew exactly who he was. And what's really cool is he's actually a big fan of the game.
That's cool.
So he was at E3 this year with them, but he is actual a player and a big fan of the game.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Whenever someone gets when they get these video game jobs, I wonder if they look at it like, dumb video games. We know that voice acting and video games are going hand in hand with these big names. Like, for several years now, it's like, wow, this is a pretty big gig as far as how important it is to society.
Right.
It's not just kids, it's adults. Average gamer's 30, 33 years old, so they're a big budget.
That's our generation,
Yeah. I don't know how they get paid, these voice actors, if they look at it like that, but they're important roles, at least to us and the people they're doing it for, because they live on forever.
Yeah.
The Spartan voice. I don't know all my voice actors, but whoever played Master Chief first, the Metal Gear Solid guy, or the Metal Gear franchise. All these names, all these voice actors get tied in with those characters, just like you see an action star in a movie, and forever that is that character. So, for myself, live action too, I agree with that too. I think back about the live action commercials that came out before the game was released. You could see a little bit of that humor that the game has in it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just jump into this hole and go for it.
Yeah.
I like that. Would it look like that on my end? I'm thinking probably. When you mentioned like Star Wars, I think the same thing. Probably just because Star Wars is a hot idea right now and a hot franchise. But the one thing I like about the new direction of Star Wars, it's grittier like it originally was.
Mm-hmm.
It's that Western showdown where this is. I mean, that was George Lucas's original vision for Star Wars, the space Western. When you look at Star Trek, more clean, at least thinking next generation, technological space here where
right.
It's not very gritty. It's political mainly. There's some fighting, but it's not like Star Wars, decapitation, things like that.
Limb dismemberment.
There you go. I always looked at, I like Star Wars because it's gritty, but that was George Lucas' space western. It was the spaghetti western kind of thought that he had while doing I think he wanted, was he called like a space opera, whatever he called it. Um, get the grittiness of that episode 4 on Tatooine in the bar, in the cantina rather. Bring it up to speed with what J.J. Abrams has done with Star Trek. And the one thing I thought was great was whenever J.J. Abrams, when he first made the reboot of Star Trek, he said, "I want to make it more like Star Wars."
Yeah.
Thank you. We won the war, but it made Star Wars a lot more entertaining to watch, or Star Trek a lot more entertaining to watch. Now he's going to take that and put it into Star Wars. Now, at first I was kind of like, if it's not George Lucas, I don't want to see it. But after reading so much about it, watching so much about it, I want to see what it's going to be like. So I take that because I like the way it's put together, the smoke, the fire, the disaster. Put it into Destiny because there's a lot of bad things going on. If we can make it look like that, I'll certainly watch it. I don't want to see Forward Unto Dawn animated kind of Halo thing.
Yeah,
I just
see, now
can't
I've never
watch
watched Forward Into Dawn. Is it animated or is it live action?
Devin gave it to me.
It's on
To
Netflix.
watch, and I have no idea where his DVD is. Sorry, Devin.
Uh-oh.
Or I think it's a Blu-ray. I don't know where it's at. He gave it to us when we went to see the baby one day, and I'm like, where'd it go?
Yeah. It's on Netflix, so I mean,
I noticed that too.
But I've never gotten around to watching it because I don't
It's
want
animated.
to spoil those games because it's on my list to play. Just the same reason I never went out and bought Halo 5 is because I haven't beat 1 through 4, so I don't want to ruin the story. And I want to experience those stories just because I guess it's such such a franchise of an Xbox that's done so well. I feel like I've kind of missed out on them since I never played them. But I want to go back and play those, so I've never watched the Forward Into Dawn or anything about it because I don't want to ruin at least what I may get out of the first few games or spoil it, not ruin it.
Yeah. Thank you for the commitment to wanting to keep those games because I want to finish them too.
I want to finish them. I just, when the hell will we ever be able to do it?
They're long. They're so long. When
they
we get
are
to a
long,
point with Destiny
and for some reason,
day.
You've got me into this achievement hunting and wanting to play the shit on Legendary when it pisses me off so bad to play it. At least in the first one, when you die and you got to start over.
It's worthwhile.
It's just like, oh my god, is it really?
You look back and say, I did that. Yes. When you 100% a game and you got 1,000 points out of it.
But we're not going to 100% Master Chief Collection.
No, we're not. Definitely not that. But I'm just saying the payoff for those things. But that's it gives me a purpose to play. That's my objective gameplay.
Yeah.
But back to the movie thing, I like the whole idea of possibly being animated because you can do a lot more with it. But my problem with animation, we'll go to Warcraft. I said to you and Devin, I love the idea of a Warcraft game or a movie because I've played it, been a part of that world. I like what they're doing, but I don't like the way that trailer looked. For me, it looks like two separate movies. The humans are real actors. They're there. The orcs, obviously, you can't. I don't want to say you can't costume that many people that way, but that style, that bulky, they look drawn and cartoonish, and they're spliced into a real world. I just did not like the way it looked.
Yeah.
And
my first statement about it to Devin, I've never played Warcraft, so I don't know what the hell's going on. I will still probably watch it, especially if we all decide to go to the movies and watch it. I will definitely go. Other than that, I'll get it after it comes out and watch it then. But I said, I wonder how good it's going to do because I get that Warcraft was a huge game. And I get that right now, nerd is cool. That it's, superheroes, comics, whatever is the in thing right now.
Excellent point.
So I get that they've got that going for them, but to me, it is so fantasy driven with these big extravagant ogres or orcs or whatever.
They're orcs.
Orcs. It's so fantasy driven and so far out there that will that turn away the hipster nerds? Will that turn them away and then only draw in the true hardcore, nerds of the crowds, which to me that will not fuel a movie well.
Well, I think when you put nerd on anybody, if you're in this world of superheroes, gaming, your fantasy movies, your fantasy books, your Dungeon and Dragon core tabletop game fan, it's all fair game, I think. I believe we're going to draw. It'll draw more of the gamers who've played it, but it's went into other people's minds because it's text somebody right during a podcast. How could you? I don't even know where my phone's at. Let me pause that real quick.
That would
Mute
be
this for a
Devin
second.
group texting us asking if we're done.
No, we're gonna
Yep,
play
it
with
was. I called that before I looked at my phone.
He's trying to play some Call of Duty multiplayer, but or not multiplayer campaign. But if you put the term nerd and you put Warcraft together, I think you're going to go see it because they've heard of it.
I get that. I'm saying, okay, let's use this. Let's use this as a just an example. You're a nerd. Your wife is not.
Nope.
But she's already said to me, I don't know if she said it to you, she would go see Star Wars. She will just not watch the old ones to learn what's going on, which is what I have a problem with.
I don't understand her logic one freaking bit.
So,
I
to
don't
me, let's call her a hipster nerd.
No,
because
she's not a hipster at all. She's a fashionista.
Fashionista
Girl.
nerd.
She's not a nerd.
But what I'm saying is she dressed up as
She did dress up as
she
freaking Winter Soldier.
dressed up as Winter Soldier
I forgot about that. How did I
for
forget about
Halloween. So that's my word of a hipster nerd. You know,
Well-
just because it's in right now is the reason she's doing it.
that? Okay, I'll buy it. Yeah, I get
That's
that.
what
But
I'm calling that. Okay, so
Go.
on with my theory here. She said she will go watch Star Wars. Now I don't think she ever will, but we're going.
Yes,
either way.
she'll see it.
You think she'll go with us over?
I think
when
she'll
we
see
go?
the new one.
Okay,
I think she'll see the new one.
you've got to work on her about seeing the old ones. At least the
tried
first.
one.
At least the first three.
I tried one time, just the first 10 minutes of episode 4.
She's got to get into it. You got to get her off the phone. Like, give me that damn thing and throw it across the room. But anyways, she will go see Star Wars.
She likes Star Trek, and I'm like, it's the same
Right,
producer,
yeah.
same director. You're going to enjoy this. Yes.
But to me, I don't think she will blink an eye at World of Warcraft.
Then no.
That
I
is
said,
the.
hey, you know-
That is the, that's what I'm calling the hipster nerds. It's going to turn a majority of people away from it because it's so fantasy.
Well, maybe hipster is just a new word to me because I don't really know how you define.
I'm
hipster.
not sure if I'm even using that in the right word or in the right way. I'm just throwing that one out there.
I say poser nerd.
Poser nerd. Okay, poser nerd's better.
Hipster. They make like designer firewood. not designer. Craft firewood.
Craft firewood,
You know,
biodegradable firewood,
They're into that kind of thing.
earth friendly firewood.
Something. So poser nerds.
Poser
no.
nerd. Okay, poser nerd.
She's a relative nerd
Uh huh.
because she's married to me.
Yeah.
She dressed up like Winter Soldier because she saw these costumes. They're not sexy out of a bag. I'm a whore Winter Soldier. It was this like leather. Is it called a bodice? No. What do you call it? Corset.
Yeah, corset.
Leather corset. She could had her hair all nice. She had that cool mask and the gold and the silver arm.
Yeah.
She looked hot, but not slutty.
Right.
That's what
She was
saw
covered.
out of those. And her Miss Marvel costume is freaking amazing too. And her Punisher costume she wanted to be was in. It was in fabulous. I
See,
made a new
you're
word,
wearing
incredible
off on her a
fabulous.
little bit. If you just keep chipping away at the Star Wars
Right.
movie thing, she
Right.
will watch them.
Well, about that, she says because it's too old. And let me tie this back into where we're going.
Damn it, that's not an excuse.
It's not.
The
because
70s
here-
look better than the freaking 2000s.
And thank you for saying that. Here's where I'm going. Warcraft, your CG effects with that one, I think it just separated it from the real life actors that were in the movie. And here's the problem I've had with CG movies for the longest time. Well, let's go to Transformers. Maybe that's a little different. I'm a Transformers fan. They put too much into it. It wasn't believable. There's too many parts. I don't know whose face that was. Let's go to. I'm trying to think. Let's go to freaking Sharknado. It's too much. They put too much
Sharknado's so
into it.
cheap, though. You can't put Sharknado in that same classification as Transformers.
Well, I'm trying to put something that's crazy. It's too much stuff. Michael Bay makes characters jump and roll and flip and explode because he can, not because it's practical. And he makes action movies, yes, but you don't need to flip and roll and slide and glide and tumble just for the heck of it because it doesn't mean anything.
Now, you
There's
want to
no
know what I
meaning.
watched the other night that was
What's that?
painful to watch because it's so bad, poorly done?
What's that?
Is Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I never saw it past the first one.
It was on Netflix. It's the second one, but it's so bad. The animation is so bad, but it was also done in '97, and there's
Oh
so
man.
many parts of it that have to mix between, you know, human and animation. Like what's his name? Zorro, the Minotaur. Is a Minotaur half
Goro.
horse, half man? Goro,
Isn't it Goro?
Goro, Zorro,
Wait, no.
whichever one.
Hold on. Goro's just a four-armed
Okay,
dude.
Goro was in the first one. Zorro, I think his name
Oh.
was Zorro, was the half horse, half man,
I don't know
whatever
that.
he's called.
I stopped playing after Mortal Kombat 3. I don't know.
He was. I swear he was in Mortal Kombat 3.
But I stopped playing after Mortal Kombat 2.
I don't know.
remember.
Anyways, whatever his damn name was, I think it was Zorro or Zorro or something. But he just looked so bad. It looked horrible. Like his upper body looked pretty cool because you could tell it was, you know, him with makeup because he had bones and stuff sticking out of his arms.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that was more, you know, that wasn't all CGI'd in because I don't think that technology was all the way there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the back half just looked really bad. And the lightning effects looked really bad.
And that's my problem.
Yeah, it was, you know, I know some of that stuff you can't do real, but
a freaking flashing light bulb with some reflective metal in 1975 for thunder or lightning, I think looks better than anything CG, just because it's done so much. 300. Okay, I thought 300 matched real life actors with some fantasy elements, but still it was separate.
yeah.
Lord of the Rings, I think, did it the best.
Yeah, Lord of the
had-
Rings did it really good.
It had to be fantasy because I think Devin mentioned the Ents. It had to be fantasy because those trees. You can't put somebody in a costume and make an animatronic costume out of that. They tied it in beautifully. I don't know what it was, but the thing about the original Star Wars, to take it way back, J.J. Abrams said he's returning to practical effects for Force Awakens. It's a tangible suit someone's wearing. They put these masks on. Chewbacca had a furry suit.
Yeah.
We don't
And
have to
you
worry
know
about his
that's
hair
true because
flowing in.
I remember seeing the pictures of the Millennium Falcon and an X-wing that were real, that they built.
As far as carpentered out.
Life size, like
Yep.
gigantic fucking spaceship.
Yep.
And I remember seeing those over the summer.
Yeah.
And that was awesome to think that, look, they're not CGI in this end. They've got it, it wasn't full life size, but it was, substantial size.
The
real,
cockpit was big
real
enough
life.
to film in.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I like about what JJ's doing for this new movie, returning to what made Star Wars originally in the set, like episode 4, 5, and 6, so good. It was a real costume. It was a real freaking alien mask. It was all these real things. So if we take here's where we go with Destiny. If we take that and apply those principles, going back to those practical effects, just like the commercial, it's just generated Sparrow and the land, but those costumes were real.
Yeah.
I think you can have a good looking game when you start making it crappy with too much CG to be cool or to have this effect.
Yeah.
You lose me, and I believe you lose people because we have Mortal Kombat syndrome, just like you said. But the
It's a little
is where-
different nowadays. I mean, I know
Right.
you don't like it. Transformers looks amazing.
What are you talking about? That garbage? What?
Yes,
does
agree
not.
that it looks good.
On what level? It
On
looks
the
as in
level
they-
of technology, it looks good. It does not look like it's cheaply done.
Okay.
You
it's
don't
not-
like the director and the vision of the movie in their own universe. Not you. You keep picturing Bumblebee as a freaking beetle.
Well, that's what he was.
And yeah, in one universe.
Well, that's the only universe. That's
No,
what
he
spawned
looks
it. That's
much
the
cooler
daddy
as a freaking
universe.
Camaro.
Don't talk. No, we're not going here anymore. We're done with this conversation. But the part about effects and everything, it's like video games too. Graphics don't make a game. We got to have a story.
Yeah, graphics make it a little bit. You
It helps
can't.
it, but it
I
doesn't.
wouldn't be playing Destiny if it looked like Minecraft.
Well, you could say there safely if it looked like Minecraft and had the same story, we wouldn't be playing it.
Yeah,
I'll give you a little bit on that, but a story takes up what the graphics don't do, and if we're not going to put billions of dollars into all these effects and stuff like that, you better have a story to keep me going because I can read a book and those graphics are black and white words on a page, you know?
yeah,
So we better have something going on there. What
yeah,
that story will be, we don't know, but we can look like the best game or best movie in the world, but you better have a good story.
yeah. And see, I would hope that if they do them, if they were ever to do them this way, the prequel could go back and cover, like Dredgenuor and the story behind Last Word and Thorn,
I was just thinking the
stuff like that.
same
Like
thing.
show, give us some backstory about the exotic pieces of gear that we have, that we've got a little bit of story with through the grimoire, and then things like which we really only got weapon story, but like Saint 14, and I can't think of the other. There's another Titan that I remember hearing. It was a chick's name, but she was supposed to be a real badass, and like stuff about them and Toland and Osiris that we don't really know anything about. Like, give us their stories in the prequel movies,
Right.
and then that way it can be its own. Let them tie together in the end, but they can be their own trilogy and then another trilogy, and to me that would be the best way to tell it, because I think the story can go so deep that they can make multiple movies out of it with what we just have.
Well, just like Disney's doing with all these Star Wars characters, all these stories, they can run wherever they want to with it now.
Right.
You can make a movie about a certain little subplot, and instead it was just a hint that you had to go make up your own story about, or like expanded universe in Star Wars case, they wrote novels about a certain mention of a name or a planet, and then there's a whole new world there. We could do anything. It's really infinite.
Yeah.
I would like to see, like, say, talking about Mortal Kombat. When Mortal Kombat came out, I think it's first in 95, 96, whenever it was, we want to see those signature moves. I want to see Scorpions, come here.
Yeah.
I want to see that thing. I want to see whatever fatality. So I'm thinking you can't just go in here with this movie and you show all your supers. You want to see the stuff that you do. You want to see blade dancing, golden gunning, void, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think of like maybe certain parts hinted at, like say there's a scene where we're going to talk wrestling for a minute or storytelling. Whenever the bad guy's getting his heat, when he's beating up the good guy, say you kill off your warlock.
Oh, and then he self-reses? Hold on.
You just blew your load on my face, and he's dead, and he's dead, and he's dead, and he's dead. And then your other two guardians are losing it, or whatever. Maybe you kill another one or something. I don't know. And then he self-reses, and holy crap, big comeback.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the crowd pop at that? Yes, they would. Especially all the main character warlocks in the crowd. They'd be like, yeah. See, there's a lot of stuff you can do what's in this game to make it, I think, not nostalgic, but where you connect with it, and that's what will hold, I believe, a crowd for Destiny.
Yeah. And with
Warlocks,
and with 25 million registered users, that sounds like a pretty good damn movie base to start.
I think so too. I think so too.
Because they're gonna bring multiple people with them that are those poser nerds that'll come along with them.
Right. Oops, pardon me. What if though? Okay, so this is storytelling too, connecting with the audience. Something you've done a million times. Whatever rocket launching, whatever super you use, something you do, you know all about that when you use it. If they put that in the game, everybody in the audience at a certain time, or in the movie, at a certain time is going to feel like this is me, this is part of our crowd. And you have all this built upon just one niche. It doesn't need society to like it.
Yeah.
You've got the gamers that you've been making this game for.
So can we say that the warlock will throw a Nova bomb into the roof? Or to the doorway?
something like that. So I've done that a billion times. That
Yeah,
would be a miserable
I've
fail.
been guilty of it too.
But what a wonderful thing to see on the screen. I've done
Yeah,
that. I've done that.
yeah.
I don't know. I can
Or
just see
put a
these
bubble
things.
in the wrong place.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean we're getting a little more comedy here than I would like to see
Yeah.
in it, but it would be funny to see.
Some little well, Avengers can get away with being crazy superheroes and putting some humor in there.
You got a point. Yeah.
There's humor in this game, salted or excuse me, lightly dashed here and there.
The Titan thinks he's a striker and tries to go in Fist of Havoc and ends up dropping a bubble.
I think, as funny as that would be, it might ruin a scene,
Yeah,
but that would be hilarious. That would be getting on the gamer side, but you never know what you can do.
yeah. That
There's
would
all
be getting
kinds
a
of
little too
ideas.
gamer. Yeah.
If they would make a movie like that and you would have the crowd that it has, would it do well? Was the original question. It would do well for us, but talking about,
would it appeal to the masses enough to
I don't think it has to.
carry a Well, it's got to if they're going to make multiple movies.
I don't think it has to. It depends. It has to meet a budget, right?
It's
Okay,
big
look.
budget which to
Well,
me it can't be done without a big budget.
I don't think everything has to have a big budget, though.
In the way the movies are nowadays, though, I mean it's.
Well, they're not going to be Star Wars.
I know they're not going
They
to be
can
Star
be-
Wars, but
They
they're
can
going to.
be.
This isn't sci-fi cheap budget Sharknado film either.
No.
So it's gotta look good and it's gotta have good story with big name. We're talking about putting people in there that have careers already in the business, not just a bunch of people starting up, the little no names. Right. So you've got to pay them. You've got to pay. There's going to be CGI in it any way you look at it. We're in outer space. Computer stuff and costumes and makeup and all that. It's going to be a big budget film.
Sure.
No, I don't think it's going to be to the budget of what Avengers or Star Trek would be, but would it be close? Probably. I would say so.
I'm uneducated to speak on it, but I just don't see.
I'm not the most educated either, but I'm saying it was Star Wars was filmed on a really cheap budget on the first one, right?
Right.
To me, you can't do that nowadays and get away with it like it was back then. We're spoiled. Our society now is spoiled with the technology that we have.
Expectations are high.
So a film is going to have to be made big budget to make big money.
Well, think about this though. Hold on. You don't have to have a big budget game to make a big budget income. Maybe it's two different medias and we're not speaking of the same thing. But we look at Warcraft. There was a lot of Warcraft clones that came through trying to be Warcraft, trying to beat Warcraft. But you found out you don't have to have that size budget and that size goal.
Yeah.
Go with, gosh, I can't think of the stupid name of this game, and I had a good point. There was one free-to-play game people played all the freaking time, and they had millions of users, and my point is now ruined because I can't quote it for you guys. Now, geez, Devin would know. He played it.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're even trying to go to.
Ruined my point. I feel so stupid now. I've always made this point. You don't have to be Warcraft to have a good game. You just have to have a
But anyways, and
game.
I think you hit it on the head when you said we're talking about different medias here. In a game, there's much more to it than visual. You've got the interaction with the controller and the character that you don't have in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you have one. It's grabbing one sense, and that's visual.
Mm-hmm.
To me, on a game, you're going to grab maybe not sense. Sense isn't the right word, but you've got more interaction with a game than you do with a movie. Because you've got to control your character, you've got to move your character, you've got to make decisions in what to do and where to go and who to shoot, and on and on and on and on.
Right.
You don't have to do, you don't have that with a movie. You're in for the story on the movie.
Exactly.
Story and visual, theatrics of it, the visual side, the graphics of it, all that. That's what you're going to be in for the movie. So that's where I still think it has to go big budget to be successful.
I agree with everything being big budget, but don't be big budget for the sake of I'm going to spend the money to make it shiny and crazy. Yeah. Because of I believe we're agreeing with that. RuneScape is the game I was trying to say. RuneScape, extremely successful, but it wasn't the size advertised, art worked on as Warcraft. Now, Warcraft probably always be the winner, but RuneScape was a game that looked like crap, played like apparently everybody's business because everyone played it. But two different engines running it and two different type of games. There were MMOs, but definitely not to the level, not to the budget of Warcraft, but still had a gigantic following.
Yeah.
That's the only point I was trying to make. But when you talk about your actors, I was thinking about some actors. Let's say you hire big budget actors. Let's say you hire big names.
Okay, so I guess we're thinking here for. Are you thinking for the people in the tower, or are you thinking for? There has to be, there's got to be 3 Guardians playing in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The story's got to be centered around 3 people, and it's got to be centered around a Titan, a Hunter, and a Warlock, or a Titan, Titan, Hunter, Warlock.
Right. Well, let me just start with towers.
Okay.
I like your idea of using the voice actors too. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just think too, just outside the box too. I was texting you guys about this too. Let's talk about Cade and Ikora.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the Titan guy's
Zavala.
name? Zavala. Okay. What's the chick's name who plays Michonne in Walking Dead? I forgot her name.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know her name.
Ikora Ray, because they've got this same, at least to her character in Walking Dead, a serious, no nonsense, the face.
Yeah.
I can see as Ikora Ray. How would it work? I don't know. Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Angelina Jolie as I'm losing my freaking name because I'm reading all these things. As Eris, because she's freaking weird.
Okay, I can see that connection.
Just
can't picture her. Go ahead.
You put the 3 eyes on her. Or she's got those pouty lips. She talks freaking deep anyway. There you go.
Go for it.
Let me think. Who? Zavala.
Yeah, Zavala.
I like Don Cheadle. Is that his name? The guy who played War Machine in Avengers.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I'm kind of matching faces too, but I've seen him do seriousness. I've seen him do comedy.
Yeah.
But the voice is different, yes. But just his face, just because he's current too. I'm taking current people that we would know.
Right.
Now, let's see. I said Cade 6, Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Because I look at...
He's got that personality.
There's that mischievous.
Yep.
There's the serious. I'm a badass. And now I'm going by his Star Trek role. How I saw him act as Captain Kirk.
No, hold on. Okay, hold on. I was thinking... when you said Chris Pine, I was not thinking of Star Trek. I was thinking, who played Guardians of the Galaxy?
I never saw that movie yet. I haven't seen
that movie yet. God, who plays him? Go ahead, keep going.
Who are you talking about? The main,
Star Lord. Is that his name? Star Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
You gotta keep going.
Well,
but yeah, Chris Pine, I could see playing it.
There's a little bit of humor. Captain Kirk was adventurous. He got himself in trouble. He seems like he can fight, be a badass. Chris Pine's face kind of looks like that XO anyway. Now, would he put all that makeup on when we were talking about XOs and things like that? I don't know. I'm just looking at characters and what I know they can portray.
Chris Pratt is his name.
Pratt,
said Chris
okay.
Chris Pine, and Chris Pratt is who popped into my head because that role he's got in Guardians is that same.
Is it?
Yeah, that gives off that same vibe as Cade 6 does. Shit talking, don't really care, does what he wants.
Did not know that. I've yet to see that movie.
You got to watch that movie. It's a really good movie.
You find me some time, and I'll do it. I've got a guy at work said he'd bring it to me because I haven't thought about downloading it or anything yet. But
yeah.
I know. Sarah and I both want to watch it. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Y'all come over one night, we'll watch it.
There you go. We're going to throw in Devin's Adam Sandler as the Cryptarch just to get him over on this podcast.
I just don't see how Cryptarch...
a joke.
Even I know, but I don't see how the Cryptarch even would play into the movie.
He was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Well, he would be just a cameo kind of thing. You don't have to pay anybody big budget for that.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna walk up with these bunch of holding our arms full of Green Ingrams. Or no, hold our arms full of blue and purple Ingrams and they turn into greens.
That would be funny.
That would be if I swear if they ever do a Destiny movie and the Cryptarch is in there, he better decrypt shit into a green.
Or into something you don't need. And if they could play that off theatrically and touch everybody in the theater, yeah, we'd pop for it hard. Because we've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Now, anybody else in the tower I don't see as an important big cast role other than the speaker, but you don't really hang out with the speaker much. He's got a big fat white mask on his face anyway.
Yeah, you can get whatever good sounding voice, because he doesn't, he walks real slow. He doesn't, there's nothing there with him except a narrative voice.
I'm trying to think of anybody else. That's about all. Now, as far as the Guardians, you could put any up-and-coming actor in there, but I was thinking, like for each of these classes, I think we all look at those classes. Titan should be a male exo or whatever you are. I think whatever we are is what we think it should be.
Yeah.
I like a human or awoken hunter because I have an awoken hunter female. So when I look at a hunter and casting that role, I would put like Kate Beckinsale.
Because she's your primary a female?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so.
Hunter.
Okay. Your hunter.
No,
your hunter.
The guy.
Sorry.
The hunter.
Sorry. I wasn't paying 100% attention.
Gotcha. I was thinking Kate Beckinsale, Keira Knightley. These action related. She was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. What's
Linda
the chick
Bloom's
that played Catwoman in Dark Knight?
I don't remember honestly.
No.
Her eyebrows are
got
so
some
thick.
killer legs.
Her eyebrows are just as thick as her legs are. Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, yeah. She could play a hunter, maybe.
Okay, sure.
Maybe, I don't know.
Who was the chick in Underworld? That was Kate Beckinsale, right?
Shit, it's been a long time.
You movie buffs out there listening are probably like, you're an idiot. I know. I'm not a big
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale was in Underworld.
Okay. That's who I was thinking of. I just see her in
right.
Underworld.
Okay,
role
yeah.
With the pistol, shooting, whatever. I think hunter.
Looks sexy in some skin tight armor.
There you go. I just think that. Human, awoken, painter face, whatever. But I've seen her do action stuff and I like it. As far as a warlock, I don't know. You could put anybody. I think.
Yeah, you gotta see. To me, you gotta stick to the whole warlocks. I don't know what you call it. The backstory behind them. They're knowledgeable and scholars. You would have to get somebody a little more serious that would play a little more serious role there.
Sure.
And then you have to get you get Batista to play the Titan. Just some big ass.
Thinking the same thing.
Somebody big, just massive. That's how a Titan is meant to be.
I see Titans as Exos.
Hey,
because I've got one.
Yeah,
and aren't you one too?
That was my main. It was the Titan Exo.
Are we going to put armor pieces on his face, or are we going to be liberal with a human face with metal pieces on it? You know what I'm saying? Or do we wear a mask?
I could say. I say you could make him look exo enough, but keep his facial features so you know who he is.
Glue metal pieces on his jaw, chin,
something.
Nose, whatever.
Yeah, just get him, make him look a little different, make him look a little robotic, but have it still look like him. I know it can be done.
Yeah.
But he had a weird look in Guardians because he was like all
dude.
gold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was all gold. Or am I thinking of a different movie?
He's green. I can see
He's
the
green.
comic book character, but I don't know his name because I never read a lot of Guardians. That's an old title I never picked up. I don't like space comics. Well, I agree. Yeah, I could see him going Terminator-wise where he's got skin, but he gets beat up and the skin's ripped off and you see metal showing.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because they're going to change the way... Freaking Rock. How about Rock being the Titan? I think he might
Rock would be a cool Titan.
He might be too big of a personality.
Yeah.
And his personality might become like a parody of himself. But as far as a size and a look...
Yeah. Drax was his name.
Drax,
he wasn't
right.
gold. He was...
Green.
No, he's not green in the movie. He's kind of blue with a bunch of red around him, so that's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking
Okay.
of Man with the Iron Fist. He was gold or bronze. Like he
Uh,
would turn into bronze whenever somebody tried to hit him. Uh,
okay.
that was what I was thinking of, but he had that weird. I guess it was all CGI though. But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
make him look a little bit like an EXO or whoever. But yeah, I think The Rock is a little too big name, leading actor. To me,
I
this
agree.
it's kind of got to be a little bit of a you know,
Three-way.
yeah, not a throwaway, but
Three-way.
three way, yeah, three way, with a honey in the middle. I keep making that reference. I need to listen to that song tomorrow. Uh, but yeah, somebody that doesn't. There's not going to be. There doesn't need to be a lead actor in that fire team. It should
Right.
be a team, not somebody with as big of a personality as The Rock is. He's going to kind of command the screen, even though I think he
Right.
would
Right.
try not to. I think everybody would still look at him that way just because he's so big right now.
Right. You got to shine all three of the
Yes.
Guardians because that's what makes up the fire team. That's what makes up what this game is. There's
Yeah.
three coming together. Here's a good Warlock. Matt Damon. Just because I wanted to say that from whatever movie they made fun of Matt Damon. What was the name of that movie where the puppets were South Park director people? That's how much I watch movies.
I cannot
Sarah
think of it
could
right
tell me right now. I'm not having good jokes right now. You're not getting my stuff.
now. No, I'm not.
Gosh. American Team Hunger Force, whatever.
Oh, Team America?
Team America.
God, I
That's it.
haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Matt Damon. Anyway, I don't know a good Warlock character. I can't think of any actors.
Like I
that would
said, it'd
fit.
have to be. They've got to play a serious role. And I think if you put somebody that plays a majority of a comedy role in there, it's not going to work.
Right. Well,
Like,
bring
to
up
me-
some up and comer.
Yeah, it would have to be an up and comer. But to me, like it's maybe the guy that plays the Hulk. Maybe he's got
I've
that
only seen him
serious.
for 5 minutes.
He's got that serious look to him.
I see what you mean now. Yes, I can think of that.
Over, just using that as an example, him over Tony Stark, over Robert Downey Jr.
There's been two Hulk guys though.
The new
That's the
Hulk,
problem.
the good Hulk.
The one we've been seeing in
Yeah,
Avengers.
the good Hulk.
I dig that.
Like him over Robert Downey Jr. because he's got that comedy side in him. Even though I know he acts that way, he can act a serious role.
Yeah.
But you still see him as a more of a action comedy, smart ass kind of thing like that. Or maybe even what's the guy that plays Captain America? Maybe
Chris Hemsworth. No,
Yeah.
that's Thor. That's Thor.
or him too. He's got a serious act, a serious, he's a little too big to play a warlock. Like size wise.
Yeah.
Uh,
He had long hair, and my my Warlock has long hair. So no.
We're basing it off of your Titan or your Guardian.
Well, that's what I think. Well, that's what people would probably look to think. This is what a Titan. This is what a Hunter. This is what a Warlock should look like.
Yeah.
Off of what they have, because they are the legend.
Yeah.
The guy who played Spock in Star Trek, I forgot his name. It's like Quintino or something.
Right.
Zach. Something like that. I'm going off Spock though because he's intelligent.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm really looking at other roles they've played. I don't think that's fair to judge, but just names that come up.
Right.
Just because we talked about
It'd
Star
be
Trek.
fun. It. I hope to God they make it. I hope it. I hope it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's done right.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it doesn't even have to go into the movies. It could go into a TV show or a series or really good TV movies. But I don't see how Activision, if they've got their own film company, would go into TV movies. I would think that if somebody picks them up that would do really good, would probably be HBO. Somewhere
It would
along
be
the line, because HBO can do it right and do it so big. But I don't see them doing movies that way. But they could do Game of, like a 10 season or 10 episode long season, like Game of Thrones does. They do that. They do that huge.
You could tell a lot of story that way.
Yeah, and you could tell
Wouldn't have to wait
could
for
tell
movies.
a lot of story of it. Yeah.
That would now see. I didn't even think about that. That would be cool.
But yeah, HBO would be, if they go to TV, I would think HBO would have to be one of the ones to pick them up because HBO, AMC, but I don't see AMC appealing to that crowd. Anywhere else, I just don't think is going to do it justice because I don't see big name networks being able to do it justice like HBO would.
I believe, sadly, right now in Destiny's infancy, it's straight to DVD right now. You wouldn't in 3 years, maybe when you put yourself out more.
And
when
I
the
don't
name
think
is
it
big,
would.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't think these movies would ever. It would probably take them 3 years to film the damn thing if they started now. So I don't think it would ever go into effect for another 3 to 5 years.
Right.
If it was ever gonna, if it ever happens. But I'm, at the end of the life cycle of Destiny, I hope is when this stuff can come out because I don't need it while I'm playing the game, but afterwards it'll be a good way to go back and remember, especially if they stuck true to the game and told a lot of the story that's already in the game. That would be a good way to go back and live those early years.
You know what happens though? Like Agents of Shield, whatever that was called. I just remember that show, and I knew I wasn't going to watch it. Marvel fan, not going to watch one of these. Did you just fall off your couch?
No, I coughed. I muted and coughed.
Whenever you did, it sounded like a lightsaber firing up. It's like wow, wow. Wow. Anyway,
I'll have to re-listen to that.
When you did like I don't know if you're going to hear it on this end. When you got like the Agents of Shield thing, it was like people in suits, and I know that's what Shield is, but the Shield in Marvel Comics is more action oriented, and they've got more commando Nick Fury. So I'm afraid they would take Destiny and dumb it down too much. We want to see.
Now, hold on. You haven't watched Shield in a long time because they're not all suits.
Do we have a lot of comic book characters going wild and out with powers?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
The pictures, the promos on TV.
You need to watch it now.
Well,
because,
look.
Okay.
Well, you interest me by your commercial and your little spot for your show between shows. I haven't seen anybody but slacks and business casual. No, thank you. I'm not watching that.
Coulson normally wears a suit or business cash. But there's to me, and I haven't heard much about it because I think it's so far away. Whenever they showed the big timeline for superhero movies that are coming out, remember seeing that picture on the internet of saying
yes,
2015 is this and 2016 is this, and it showed for like the next 4 years of all the superhero movies that's coming out. There's one of them that come out, I think it's 2019 or 2020, called Inhumans.
Yeah, I know the Inhumans. Black Bolt and who else are there? Other guys. Black Bolt is a cool character. If he whispers, he levels mountains.
See, now to me, that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. is building up to because they call they're called metas in the DC universe in Flash and Arrow, but the aliens that have powers that were humans at once are called Inhumans.
Right.
On S.H.I.E.L.D. on the TV show. So you've got one of them, Daisy, who's who it is in the show, or Sky, it was what she used to be, that can move shit with her hands, like force out of her hands.
Right.
So they show that. That this season has been more action than, a lot of the first ones that were in it.
If it can look like an X-Men movie where we show powers, we show effects, I don't mean crazy CG like we were speaking earlier, but if I can relate to what I've read in the comics, sure, I'll watch that. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV spots or bumpers or whatever did not interest me one bit because it looked like CSI. And I'm like, that's not interesting to me. I'm here for
you need to watch
Marvel
it.
aspect.
You need to watch it.
Well, if we do that with Destiny, sorry, I'm hanging that up.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's space magic. It's rifles and crazy guns and
space cowboys.
It's space freaking cowboys. That's exactly right. So you do that, okay. But anyway, interesting conversation we've had here.
Yeah.
Anything else?
We're live on YouTube now. If you're listening to this, it really doesn't matter to you, but we are putting our stuff out. We're pushing our podcast out to YouTube now.
Just somewhere other place to have us be found.
Yep.
If you're on YouTube and you can, wherever you are in your situation, find our old episodes there. We're looking at just a voiceover maybe on some gameplay. We don't have a capture card yet. The one I had was only 720 and I got rid of it anyway. So we don't know where we're going to go in the future, but let's look at all these avenues.
Yeah,
So
we got to start
YouTube's
building it up at some point. So
yeah, YouTube's our next little step. Will we do anything in front of the camera? We don't know. More voiceovers. And speaking of that, we didn't talk about your glitch either. Did you want to talk about your glitch?
no, because remember I tested it right before we got on. What it was I saw a post on Reddit of, hey, there's a Glimmer glitch / time gate that Bungie's implemented or bug, and it involves this. And it showed a guy at Siege of the Warmind with a Hive Ghost on. He would get to 160 Glimmer and stop gaining Glimmer, 166 or 68, whatever it was, and stop gaining Glimmer at all. He was not at max. The first questions come up, the same ones you asked me whenever I showed you that video. Did you hit max? And I said, no, I show it at the end that I'm definitely not at max. I started wondering if it was part of the Festival of Lost stuff, maybe a bug with the candy that they were giving us. And I went in, dropped whatever it was, Void Fizz or something, whatever the Hive consumable was for the Halloween stuff, and tested it myself. Same thing. I was at 21,000 at the first run, at the beginning of the run, and at the end of the run, I was 166 Glimmer higher. And that was it. I stopped gaining Glimmer. Right before we got on tonight, I went and tested it, and I noticed that every time I died, it would start over, and I could count up to 160 something. And then I went and jumped into Exclusion Zone, and I was still pulling in at the main part of the 8 majors. I was pulling in 295 or 300 Glimmer or whatever it was after killing those 8 majors. So a total run with killing the first set in there was probably 500-ish, which is not any different than what it was before. So I don't think it was a bug, or if it was, it went away with Festival of Lost.
We have video. If you check out our page, just go take a look at the only video that's not our logo, pretty much.
Yeah, the only video that's not in all the podcast stuff is in a playlist. It just doesn't show up that way on the first on that home screen, and I still got to play with it and figure out how to get that to show up right. And it may start to show up right the more videos that get put on there.
Yeah, no, there's no video, just our logo, so still audio, but we're looking to do something. I don't know what we'll do in there, but it's just a start. I was trying to think if I had one more thing to cover. I guess that's all I had to go with. The movies my main topic today.
Yeah,
our main topic.
Let's hope it comes true. No, yeah. I don't have anything else to talk about.
All right.
Jump into some trials tomorrow.
Yeah, we're just chatting here. We're not a big news site like everybody else. You guys hear the news from everywhere else all the time. We notice we're probably the bottom podcast you guys listen to, and that's just fine. But we just want to be the guys who talk about the fun stuff, not always the serious stuff. We'll cover that, as you've noticed.
I'm not a damn news anchor. No,
that's a good point. Nor am I. Nor do I want to be.
Yeah.
If it's important, we talk about it. If it's fun, we're going to talk about it too. But SN95 Cobra on Xbox Live, he is
PEFXEclipse.
Join us on there if you wish to have some more friends. We'll be your friend. Find us on Twitter at Warsat Radio. Tweet us, share us, love us, like us. I think you don't favorite us anymore. You love us. There's a little heart now, not a star. They've changed it up a little
on
bit.
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
I think it's still follow, isn't it?
Well, no, there's like a little heart instead of a favorite.
I did not know that.
It. Or I've read something wrong, but it's a little heart.
I don't Twitter very much. I need to get back into Twittering.
We slowed down tweeting, but
we did slow down tweeting. I think we just kind of got. I think we got it consumed with life.
Life does consume you, but you can join our clan if you wish. Go search in the companion for Warsat Radio Podcast. We're not big. We're just some guys who play. We're not trying to be the biggest. We're not trying to have a leader to get groups together. But if you need some friends to get something done, let us be it. But I believe it's time to head to orbit now.
Yeah, that too. And don't forget to plug YouTube. Even though it's not a at YouTube or .YouTube or shit, I can't say it right. YouTube.com/Warsat Radio. Just got to search for us. I don't know how we get that name. I think it comes with time. But yeah, search for us on YouTube if you want to go that route. It'll be on there. So.
And I think we are going to leave and head to orbit and fly around our pretty little ships. Thanks for listening, guys. We've had a good time being here. I can't believe next week will be episode 20.
I know, 20.
20 episodes. This was just started just for fun. Like, hey, you want to do a podcast? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's actually kind of fun. So, thank you guys. We'll see you.
Goodbye.